The fire flickers low, casting dancing shadows on the old timber walls. The smell of smoke and spiced cider lingers in the air. A hush settles across the room as the storyteller leans forward, eyes gleaming beneath his hood. Welcome to Whispering Pages, where every tale is a hush in the dark, a breath between the lines, waiting for you to lean in and listen. Tonight, we journey into the world of Temerant, a land stitched together with magic, music, and myth. And we begin, as all the best stories do, with wonder. Temerant is a world shaped not just by land and empire, but by the weight of stories, a place where myth and memory hang heavy in the air, where songs carry truth and silence hides power. It feels old, not dusty or dead, but ancient in the way a forest feels alive with watching eyes. Every ruin remembers something. Every road has heard footsteps long vanished. Its geography forms what's called the Four Corners of Civilization, a sprawling and diverse continent divided into regions like the Commonwealth, with its bustling trade cities and scholarly halls, the regal and rigid Vintas, steeped in class and politics, the fractured small kingdoms, and the shadows of the once mighty Aturan Empire, now fallen into legend and silence. But maps lie, not just by omission, but by choice. Because beyond those neat borders lie the lands most fear to name. The Fey realm, where time dances sideways. The Eld, a haunted wood older than men. The Storm Wall, a storm-choked wasteland no traveler survives. And beyond even that, strange lands that tremble with forgotten gods. Temerant is a world where magic is whispered more than shouted, where knowledge is often forbidden, and where power lies hidden in plain sight, in names, in music, and in the turning of a page. It's a place where the greatest danger may not be the monsters in the dark, but the truths that sleep beneath your feet. In Temerant, magic doesn't spring from spells or wands. It's bound to reason. It's called sympathy, a discipline that links objects so one can affect the other, as if their natures are quietly connected. If you bind a pot of water to a flame, the water will warm, but only if you've calculated the weights, the energies, the resistance. Miscalculate, and the backlash might burn your hand. Sympathy is precise, like engineering with a whisper of wonder. It's not showy magic. It's methodical, exacting, and often dangerous. At the university, students study sympathy like a craft. They scribble formulas by lantern light, yawn over dusty diagrams, and flinch when experiments go wrong, which they often do. Mastery takes intellect, focus, and a steel-hard will. Yet even with all its logic, sympathy feels like a shadow of something deeper, as if, beneath the math and mirrors, it's echoing a much older truth. If sympathy is logic, then naming is pure wonder. It's the oldest and rarest form of magic in Temerant, the power to speak a thing's true name, and in doing so, command it completely. To name the wind is to bind it, to hush a flame by knowing what it is, deep down. It's not about syllables or language. It's about understanding the essence of something so fully that you become part of it. You don't just learn the wind's name. You feel it in your bones. Very few are ever taught this art. Fewer still master it. Most gifted namers are half mad with the weight of what they know, wandering the line between silence and speech, between self and story. They don't cast spells. They listen, and when the time comes, they whisper one perfect word. Quote, our hero, hears the wind answer once, only once. But that moment shifts the ground beneath him and us forever. They are the names no one dares speak. The Seven, the Chandrian, Ghosts to most, legends to others. But in truth, something far worse, real. Where they walk, iron rusts, fires turn blue, and songs die on the tongue. They leave no mercy behind, only silence and ruin. They are said to destroy anyone who speaks of them, anyone who dares dig up the stories best left buried. That's how Kvotha's life is torn apart. That's how his story begins. The Chandrian aren't just monsters. They are keepers of a secret so old, it's been erased from history itself. But scraps remain, in children's rhymes, in half-sung ballads, in the trembling of an old man's hands. Kvotha's quest is more than vengeance. It's a search for the truth beneath the tales. Who are the Chandrian? Why do they silence the past? And what do they fear? Every whisper brings him closer. Every silence, louder. The university stands at the heart of Temerant's thirst for truth. Stone walls etched with runes hold secrets older than any ruler's reign. Here, ambition and desperation walk hand in hand through echoing halls, where one can trade coins for wisdom, but not without risk. Students flock from distant lands, clutching tattered letters of recommendation or nothing at all. Many arrive bright-eyed, only to discover that a mispronounced formula can spill boiling oil across a lecture hall, or worse, warp the mind in an ill-conceived experiment. Tuition is paid in sweat, late nights, and the occasional blister, yet the rewards are irresistible. In the archives, shelves stretch beyond sight, groaning under scrolls of lost languages and forbidden lore. In classrooms, masters demonstrate sympathy experiments that bend metal, or alchemists brew potions that shimmer like captured moonlight. And hidden in dusty corners, a select few chase naming through riddles and dreams. Kvothe arrived hungry, for food, for coin, and for answers. He charmed patrons with his loot to earn meal scraps, outwitted rivals for prized textbooks, and learned that power exacts its price. Every lesson carries danger, every book a doorway, and every whispered secret might be the one that changes everything. In Temerant, music is more than melody. It's memory and magic intertwined. A single song can summon joy, dredge up sorrow, or even bind wounds, reminding listeners of who they were and who they might become. Every tavern echoed with ballads that held histories too dangerous for written scrolls, passed mouth to ear like whispered spells. Kvotha's voice and lute became his most potent tools. He played to earn coin in dim-ins, to charm allies in grand halls, and to soothe wounds both physical and unseen. When words failed, music bridged the gap between heart and mind, carrying secrets and emotions that logic could never capture. Yet music also bore witness to loss. A mournful dirge could summon the ghosts of the past, reminding Kvotha and us that every note carries the weight of a story, and every chord draped in the echoes of those who came before. Beneath the grandeur of the university and the bustle of the streets, whispers speak of another force, the Amir, once holy knights sworn to uphold justice. They hunted corruption with sword and sanction. Their sigils gleamed on white cloaks, and their judgments were feared even by kings. But just as stories of the Chandrian slip into hush, the Amir vanished from all but the oldest records. Some say they were disbanded, others insist they transformed into secret custodians of truth, pulling strings from the shadows to protect knowledge, too perilous for open hands. In the dark corners of archives locked behind iron doors, a few dusty tomes bear their crest. Scholars risked censure to glimpse those pages, hoping to learn what drove these paladins to secrecy. Was it betrayal, hubris, or recognition that absolute power demands absolute solitude? Kvotha senses their mark in hidden glyphs and coded warnings. He knows the same halls that teach sympathy and naming once echoed with Amir footsteps. Whether they live on in ghost stories or clandestine cells, the Amir remind us that some orders thrive only in myth, guardians whose greatest power lies in their absence. In Temerant, stories aren't just tales, they're maps of the unseen. Folk myths echo truths long buried. A tale of a trickster god might just describe a long-forgotten name or a lost civilization. People live by proverbs, recite rhymes to keep evil away, and pass down warnings in song. These aren't quaint traditions, they're survival tools. The line between folklore and fact is paper thin, and sometimes believing in the story is what makes it real. Temerant isn't just a setting, it's a living legend. Its magic isn't always in spells or monsters, but in the pauses, the silences, the possibility that something more lies just out of sight. The world breathes softly in the dark and listens. Thank you for wandering through this tale with us. This is Whispering Pages, where every tale is a hush in the dark, a breath between the lines, waiting for you to lean in and listen. If you enjoyed the journey, please like, share, and subscribe. Ring the bell so the next whisper finds you. And let us know in the comments what part of Temerant you'd like to explore next.